There is a tip that I never got. There is a tip that I believe no one on the internet's talking about. I actually just Googled it across all the things we're going to talk about today, and no one's talking about this whatsoever. What is that tip? I'm not going to tease you guys forever. It's this: know thy enemy. And I'm going to show you all the reasons why this is just so important. And I promise you, after this likely 10-minute presentation, I think you're going to be looking at any kind of market where you're wagering money to make money. You're going to be looking at it a bit differently, and we're going to be covering that. Let's go. Famous Sun Tzu quote, as you can see right here: know thy enemy and know yourself. Basically, handle your emotions and know who your counterparty is. And in the long run, you're going to make money. That's what Sun Tzu is essentially saying, right? But if you don't know the enemy, if you don't know the counterparty that you're trading against, guys, and if you don't control your emotions, you're going to lose long term. This is the most important thing besides risk management in trading that just no one talks about. People just don't even think about it. Know your counterparty. What is a counterparty, guys? So when you use a market order, it's the guy or the bot that has a limit order that you are market buying from or market selling to. When I put a limit order out at, let's say, to buy Bitcoin at 80,000, someone has to sell to me. That person that just sold to me, or multiple people that have sold to me, are known as my counterparties, my counterparty. Because we're trading against each other, right? Because the only way that we can trade, guys, is if we disagree and if we have counterparties. If you are smarter, faster, have more information than the person on the other side of your trade, in the long run, you're going to make money. If you're dumber, slower, have less information than the person who you are trading against, trading with, but it's pretty much against, you're going to lose money long term because these markets are zero sum for the most part. Let's go talk about a few different venues. These are the ones that we're going to cover really quickly. Robinhood options. So why is it that most people on Robinhood who trade options tend to lose it all? It's not actually just because of risk management. A lot of it comes down to pricing. The typical counterparty that you are going to be trading against, guys, is a market maker or a hedge fund, someone professional who is immediately arbitraging anything you do. So if you buy an option, they might just immediately arbitrage it. Because you're buying at a bad price. Theoretically, you're buying at a bad price relative to what they think the option should actually be valued at. Why is that? Well, I'm going to ask you something. Why on earth would a market maker or a hedge fund sell options to you if they take on so much risk? If there is a minus EV trade that they are consistently doing, they're going to do something about it. They will not allow you to have an edge long term. They're going to change their pricing, right? If a lot of people buy options, the price for you to buy options is going to go up a little bit, right? Or a lot. So your counterparty is very likely on Robinhood to have more information than you, be faster, and is likely smarter and also more sophisticated. This is why so many people lose money on Robinhood. Let's go to casinos. This is super easy to talk about because you know who you're playing against. With, baccarat, blackjack, slots, stuff like that. These are closed loop games. A closed loop game means that there are zero outside influences. It's closed loop. So everything that happens is within a set of rules, and that controls everything. It makes it very easy for a casino to make money from you long term. Now, not enough people think about this, I would say, but your counterparty is a casino. They will do everything that they can to ensure that you have a zero absolute negative edge long term. Everything they can. Whether that's, I don't know, this is rare, but it can happen. If you have like a big win at a casino, they could be like, hey, you didn't actually, it was a glitch in our system. Or they'll just, tell you if you're a compulsive gambler to keep gambling, like they won't kick you out. They'll be happy to take your money. That's because they're the counterparty and they're just being smart. It's sadistic, but they're being smart because, unfortunately, addicted gamblers are a beautiful, amazing counterparty to trade against because long term they're pretty much guaranteed to lose everything. So it's a very good counterparty to have. Crypto exchanges. Majority of trades is going to be against sophisticated player, but sometimes you will be trading against retail traders. The way that you can make money long term, guys, on crypto exchanges, try to look for ways to either exploit an inefficiency within the exchange or within a coin, or actively look for ways to trade against retail traders. One way you can do that. Let's say you see a bunch of hype and people are buying at any price on a coin and it's retail. You could put a high sell order and get filled at an amazing price. Another reason, Imagine that a bunch of guys are about to get liquidated at, let's say, Bitcoin price of 90,000 on a short squeeze. Well, you can take advantage of that by buying a little bit before and then taking profit on their liquidation. Therefore, your take profit is their short liquidation, right? Which is essentially you trading directly against them because, you know, that large liquidation order that cascades higher and higher and higher with a short squeeze, you're going to be able to sell at a very good price. That is trading directly against retail. Now, a very low percentage of retail can actually profit long-term, scalping or swing trading. And a lot of that has to do with risk management and emotions, but also the just sheer power of the counterparties. The people that are market making, these, whether it's a hedge fund, a market maker, a sophisticated player, they're going to know more and they're going to ensure that they have an edge when they provide a limit order that you market buy from or market sell on, unfortunately. Sportsbooks. This one's interesting. Your counterparty, the people that you're playing against, let's say like DraftKings, for example, it's the platform. This is PvE, guys, meaning player versus exchange. If the sportsbooks think you will beat them long term, they will ensure you cannot bet more than a few bucks. Or rarely, they might just ban you. The sportsbooks think that you will lose long term, they'll do everything that they possibly can to keep you, as you can see what I wrote here. Therefore, the sportsbook does a really, really, really good job of ensuring that they are trading against a dumb counterparty. They ensure that the majority of their volume, the money that comes in, is going to be against people dumber than them. Whether that's, unfortunately, addicted gamblers, people who don't really care and just, you know, take on any bet because they feel like it, or people that just really don't know what they're doing and think they have an edge. Okay? Finally, or two more. This is the second to last, poker. In poker, you are going to want to play against players worse than you, but nowadays that's very difficult to do online because you're playing against GTO bots a lot of the time. It is PvP, which is good, but I mean, you can exploit a skill gap to win long term if you find a weak pool of players, but again, there are a lot of sophisticated poker players, but I would say that there are ways that you can actually exploit weaker players, but a lot of that would be live poker, and that would absolutely not be online poker. You can exploit player tendencies. Like, for example, if there is a poker player that you watch for like 5 minutes at a table, and all he does is bet and raise, just constantly aggression, bet, 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 raise, 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 he will not fold. You can make a lot of money on that guy by playing passively with a good hand. It's really not that hard. You get a good hand, you play it passively, and if he keeps raising and betting, just call. And in the long run, you're probably going to make a lot of money by the guy who refuses to lay down his hand. Finally, this is completely different than anything I've talked about so far. Okay? Trust me. This is PvP. The vast majority of the time, this is player versus player, guys. This is not player versus exchange. This means that your bets, you're playing against other players, right? You're not playing against an exchange. You're not playing directly against Polymarket. You're playing against another guy on Polymarket. Now, depending on the market, you can trade against masses of retail traders with size, and there's countless examples of that. With markets that are hard to price, kind of like meme markets or just markets that who knows what the true price should be, you're pretty much guaranteed to be trading against people, against retail traders, especially if there's just no way for this market to be accurately priced, which there are plenty of markets like that, guys, where you can't really get any outside information. No one knows what the price should be. You can pretty much guarantee you're trading against people at your skill level or dumber. Okay? Also, the gambler-esque mindset of this website of Polymarket, it just gives the opportunity to be the smart counterparty in a lot of select markets by putting very good limit orders and getting them filled by dumb retail traders. At the end of the day, the most important tip I can give you in trading, and I'm glad you've gotten this far, is know your counterparty. There are ways to make money in risking money to make money. But the most important thing for you to know is to know thy enemy and know yourself, and you need not fear the result of 100 battles. Happy trading. Hope you can find a counterparty dumber and profit long term. See you guys.